Hello, my name is Ibrahim and this is Programming 101. Today we'll talk about web development. Web development is the process of creating applications that reside on the web. Today, no matter what type of programming you do, it will involve the web to some extent. Games need to connect to the internet to have a multiplayer mode. Desktop applications need the internet to have a website to promote their app. If web development is so popular today, it's because the web can give you so much control. In a traditional desktop app, like Photoshop, if you ship a version that has a bug, your users will be stuck with it. Even if you fix it, you'd have to hope that all your users will download the latest version with the bug fix. For web applications, however, that's not a problem. All you have to do is update your application and everyone automatically benefit from the new version. There are two types of web programmers, the front-end developer and, not surprisingly, the back-end developer. When you're just getting started, it is much easier to start as a front-end. But let me start with explaining the backend. The backend developer write applications that run on a web server. For example, when you are on YouTube and type some information on the search bar, this data is taken and sent back to YouTube servers for processing. Once they understand your query, they return the list of videos you asked for. This process is handled by an application on the server, and this application is written in one of the many programming languages you hear about. It could be PHP, Java, Ruby, or C#. In the case of YouTube, they use Python. The list of videos is stored on YouTube servers, and like any other company, they use a database to efficiently store data. Databases can be programmed or queried using a language called Structured Query Language, or SQL for short. There are many different databases. A few of them are MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, or Postgres. In the case of YouTube, they use MySQL. The role of a backend developer is to program the interaction between all these applications to create a unique website. No matter what language they choose, at the end they produce HTML data and hand it over to the front-end developer for the next step. What you see when you open up a page is the front end. The information on the screen, the fonts, the colors, and the interaction, all this is made by the front-end developers. Luckily, there aren't too many languages to choose from. The browser only understands 3 languages. HTML, the markup language used to structure the data on the page, CSS to create page layout, font, colors, and make it look pretty, and JavaScript, the only programming language available to the browser. With a combination of these 3, the front-end developers can use data returned by the back-end dev to create a unique experience. Front-end development can be easier than back-end, but it's still not easy. Sometimes you can write code that looks perfectly fine and perform perfectly well on your browser, but the moment you switch to a different browser, it just fails. Each browser has the freedom to follow its own rules. There aren't any HTML standards. HTML5 that you hear so much about is a recommendation led by the W3C, which most browsers voluntarily decide to follow, except IE of course. But even IE has come a long way in trying to conform to the rules. Still, there are some caveats when writing CSS and JavaScript. Hopefully we will talk about them in the near future. We will tackle an example of front-end development on the next video, and it might seem overwhelming at first because we have to learn 3 languages at the same time. But don't worry, as long as it is well organized, you will fly through it. In summary, there are 2 types of web developers. The backend developer who creates logic and interaction between applications on the server side. They use dynamic languages like PHP, Java, and Python to program, and use a database like MySQL and Postgres to store data. The front-end developer gets the data from his predecessor and creates structured data using HTML, make it look pretty using CSS, and create an interactive experience using JavaScript. Both are important parts to create a website and can sometimes be performed by the one and same person. Stay tuned for the next video and I'll catch you on the next one.